Hey everybody, come along with me today and make a new granny square. So grab your hook and your scissors and the balls of yarn you want to use and make the winter fair granny square with me. So here I'm going to step by step show you how to make a slip knot. So here we're making this little loop and we're going to take the end and go and put it through the loop we made. So this will make a knot we can adjust, you see? So that way you can take your hook and place it through the knot, and then we will close up that little loop, and then we're going to make a series of chains. So that's just us yarning over and pulling through. Oops, be careful this doesn't happen to you. In order for you to make sure that doesn't happen, hold on to the top of your hook. Make sure to secure your yarn end by holding it with your finger, and also having your two fingers pull tightly onto the yarn, and that way you're kind of in control more of holding on to your work. And then from there we're going to find the very first stitch we made and go underneath those two V-stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through our working end. This will create a tiny little hole, which is similar to a magic ring but a little bit smaller. And then we're going to be working through that little hole, and we're starting with a foundation chain of 3. So we've yarned up of 3, and then we are going to yarn over and work into that tiny hole that we've already made. So we will place our hook through that hole, yarn over and pull through, and we're making a double crochet. So we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and that will make our first double crochet. So we have our foundation chain and our double crochet. That will be our first cluster. So for this granny square we are only going to be doing 2 double crochets to make a cluster. Then I'm going to be starting another chain of 3, and this will create our corners as well. So we will just be repeating this pattern. So 2 clusters of 2 double crochets, a chain of 3, and then continue that and do that 8 times. So you have to make sure you're going to have 8 clusters like that. So here we're doing our other double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2. Here's our first little chain 3 space. That's where we're going to make our corners from there. And then we're chaining up of 3 again, and we're going to repeat this pattern. So I came up with this because I was like, hey, the last granny square I made was just like the basic granny square, and I thought, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try to see if I can do my own design. And so I just started to kind of come up with this idea, and it seemed to work. And I thought, oh, it kind of looks almost like a snowflake in the middle, kind of half flower, half snowflake. I guess depending on what colors you would use this granny square for, you could either make it look more summery or even more wintry. So I decided to, for my thing, it kind of looked more like a fall winter kind of look to this granny square, and I thought the name Winter Fair was really inspiring. It kind of had that vibe to me. So here we're coming up to the end of our round. You see this is going to start getting kind of close, and because in this small little hole we're going to have to be making 8 clusters, so that's quite a bit for this little section. Yeah, you're going to see that when you start coming up to the end, you're going to have to really pull out that last chain 3 space, so that you're going to see what I mean in a second when I show you. So I hope you're liking my videos. I hope you do subscribe. Here I'm just going to show you how I'm holding the yarn with my hand very like meticulously. And if you're new to crochet, you will have to find your rhythm of how you're going to hold your hook and your hands. But you definitely need to use both as you're maneuvering around these knots, because that's pretty much how it is. It's a lot of how you're holding your hook and the yarn in order to determine how fast you're going. So here is my foundation chain and my first double crochet. That's my first cluster. I'm just doing another recount here, making sure I have 8. I think I still need 2 more rounds, so I will just continue with that. And just saying hello to all my new subscribers. I think I got like 3 new subscribers in the last few weeks, so thank you for that. I hope you're enjoying my shorts and my videos and they're teaching you something. If not, I hope at least they're making you laugh. And I guess because I have such a small following right now, I definitely enjoy the comments that you guys are sending my way and interacting. If you also have channels that you have on YouTube, I definitely don't mind subscribing. And yeah, just wanted to let you guys know, thank you for that. So here we're coming up to the end. I'm going to finish off with my 3 chains, and then I'm going to go into the 3rd chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 3rd chain up from the start of my foundation chain, and yarn over, pull through, and then pull through 2 to finish off that round. So here is how the first round looks. It kind of does have that kind of snowflakey vibe going on, with the corners very edgy. Here I completely forgot to film the first part of this. Something happened with my camera, but just take a look at this first part, and then I will explain on the next corner exactly how I did this. So it's still the same thing. We're doing into the first chain 3 space, whichever one you're choosing. We're doing a double crochet, so 2 double crochets, chain 3, and then another 2 double crochets. Sorry for the off-camera work here. I'm still trying to figure out how to use my tripod thing that I'm holding my camera on. It's not the best. So here's my 2 double crochets. Here's my chain of 3. That's for our first corner. And then as we go around and the granny square increases, we will have these middle spaces that are like our middle of between our corners. So in this first one, I am not going to do a chain 1 space. I am just right from the double crochet in the corner. I've made another 3 double crochets into the chain 3 space. So I will repeat this again for you. Don't worry if you're a little confused, that is okay. I will show you again. So here, this mercerated cotton also gets very split, so just make sure if you are using cotton. I like this color too much, so I decided I still wanted to use it. And here's my 3rd double crochet. All right, so there's our corner. I haven't done like a regular granny square corner, like where you're using 3 double crochets. So yeah, usually you'd be you see how this middle one has 3 double crochets? You'd usually be using that as well in the corners, but for this granny square, I decided to just do 2 double crochets in the corners with a chain of 3. So if you've seen some of my other videos, I can link up above. A lot of times I will only use 1 chain space for my corners, maybe 2 depending on which ones they are, because I like that they're more close knit instead of having a lot of that open work. But this one's a little bit different, so I did this one much more open. So here is the other corner. So you're doing 2 double crochets, a chain of 3, and another 2 double crochets. So that's how you're going to start your round. And yeah, because I didn't show you the first part of that round, that is how you do that. So you can rewind or go back, and that is exactly how you do the start of the round 2. So here we're doing our 3 double crochets in the middle, and here's the short pattern, so you guys know if you need to write down or pause the video, you can do that to take this info down. So we made two corners for now. We're going on to our 3rd corner. I'm just going to speed this up. And yeah, let me know how your summer's going. I know I've been working a lot lately. I work Amazon, so right now we've got our MET 60 coming up. Not the fun time for anybody who knows what that's all about, but yeah, it's a lot of work before and after Prime, so just remember that when you're ordering something. There's a bunch of people there struggling to get by every day. Yeah, so I was starting also, I think the last short I made was kind of funny because I tried to follow a pattern and I didn't follow it all the way, and then it bit me in the ass because the top didn't fit me. And yeah, that was pretty bad because I had to frog it all and then redo it again properly. But it turned out really cute, and it is up on my Etsy store, so if you want to take a look at any of the stuff I'm selling, you by all means take a look. You don't have to buy, but just you can always go over there if you're interested. I am selling some of my stuff. So here we are at the end. We're going up on our chain 3 space, pulling through, yarning over, pull through the 2 to close off the round. And that is our second round. We're just gonna snip this off with my scissors. I wish, anybody who's bought the sets on Amazon too for the like the crochet hooks and stuff, you always get these silly little scissors that never really work. They'll cut really well for the first few rounds and then it won't. So there is our progress. It does kind of have this really florally kind of I think it looks like a snowflake more than anything. So here I'm joining my third color, and I don't do a slip knot for this, so I'm showing you how I do it. I just hold onto the yarn like this. So if you're holding it tight enough, you can, once you yarn over and pull through, it almost locks the yarn in place, just like that, and then you can start your chains up again. And it seems to stay, and if you're weaving in your ends as you're going too, then it also secures it just as well as making a slip knot. But I find it's less bulky and it doesn't have that little nub on it that makes it kind of stiff, and sometimes you can feel it depending what you're wearing. And okay, so we're making our 2 double crochets and then we're chaining up of 3 again. This is for a corner. So we found our chain 3 space corner and we've started another corner into that. So this will just be a little bit different for this round as well. So here's our corner. And then I am going to show you, this is a little different. So where these 2 double crochets are, I'm going to make a chain of 1. So that's taking up the space for those 2 double crochets. And then we're going to go right above our 3 double crochets and go up into the V-stitch and make an additional 3 double crochets right on top of those 3 double crochets. So there's 1, find the V spot, 2, and there's the third one, and there's a pattern. If you need to write it down or pause the video, you can do that. Here's our other cluster, and we're going to make a chain of 1, so that's taking up that space. And then we're going to do our corner, so that's 2 double crochets, chain of 3, another 2 double crochets. So what we're kind of doing is where the chain spaces are on the next round, we are going to be doing double crochets and vice versa. So you're going to see how that works out. And I don't know about you, yarn is very expensive nowadays. I've seen ads on Temu. Here's our 3 double crochet and our space, chain 1 spaces. So that's the pattern, and then you're going to repeat it. Yeah, yarn is really expensive. Even when you go to like Value Village or any of the thrift stores, they're still charging the same price as if you purchased it at a regular store. And I don't know what's going on with Michael's, and I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is it Jones? Because we don't have that here in Canada. There's something going on with that. I guess Michael's took over for them or something, but I didn't even know that place existed. Okay, all we have is Michael's here. So, and literally the selection we have in Canada it's so crappy that we get like a quarter, if not like a smidgen, of what other countries get in terms of yarn here. So we're just working through the round. I've sped up the video a little bit for you guys, and just let me know what you're doing for your summer. If you've made any items that you want to share or tell me about. I know I've made a few granny square tank tops lately, and half of them have kind of not fit, so I posted them on my Etsy shop instead so that I could see if I could sell them, because they ain't fitting me. So here we are at the end. I did a chain of 1, and then I'm finding my 3rd chain from the top of my starting round and just snipping it off. So this is our 3rd round. This is how it's looking so far. I'm going to find another corner and attach my 4th color. So I'm just showing you again how I attach it without doing a slip knot. Just holding onto the yarn, yarning over, making sure I'm holding onto all the ends and just pulling it tight, and just yarning over again and pulling through, making our chain up of 3. And somehow it does seem to stay like that, so it's pretty neat technique to use. If you haven't tried it before, give it a try, see if it's working for you. That's the way I like to start my rounds. So this round is going to be a little bit different. So instead of us just doing 2 double crochets for the corner, I'm doing 3 double crochets, and that's taking place of one of our chains. So instead, like here, I'd be showing you I'd be doing 3 chain ups. I'm not going to do that this round. I'm just going to do 1, because that double crochet is taking the place of the chain space. So 1 chain up, and then we're going to do our 3 double crochet. So that's a little bit different for the corner. It still has the same width to it, but because it's a little bit more closed, it's making the edge and the last round just a little bit more finished looking. And it'll be nicer looking if you want to use these squares in a project, because it'll be more closed work around each one of the joining rounds that you're doing. And I can do a video on that next to show you how to connect your squares. So here I have actually made a chain 1 and then done a double crochet in the chain 1 space, and I'll repeat that again to show you. And then on top of our double crochets, we are going to go into those V stitches again and do 3 more double crochets. So this is the 2nd one, and this is a 3rd, and then I'm making a double crochet into that chain 1 space. That's taking up our chain space instead. So we're reversing the roles here on this round. And we're doing a chain 1 for our 2 double crochets we made. You see how it's kind of reversing the pattern. And then we're doing our 3 double crochets. Instead of our chain of 3, we're doing 1 chain here, because we've done the extra double crochet, which was the space for the chains. And then we're doing our 3 double crochet again. And just repeating the pattern. I don't know about anybody else, but crochet usually is a big anxiety reliever for me. If I'm having a stressful day or I just want to numb my brain, I will do crochet, because it helps me just decompress from all the stuff that I've been going through on a daily basis, working, 40-something an hour days at factory work. Loud, obnoxious machinery around you, and just this repetitive work really calms me down with the crocheting here. So again, we've got, not going to put our chain space, but we're going to do a double crochet in this chain 1 space. Oops. Hold on to this mercerized cotton, is sometimes too much. And that chain 1 is taking the space of our 2 double crochets. So yeah, just continue around. Again, did I tell you guys already why I made this square? Anyway, I just decided to start making this square, and I didn't know if it was going to work out. And thankfully, I filmed the first one when I did it, but it was completely, half of it was off camera. So that did not help me. Like you're going to see here, I'm like, if I start concentrating too hard, like the work keeps coming closer and closer to my body, and I'm not even paying attention to the camera because I'm actually looking at the work I'm doing. I'm not looking through the camera lens. So anybody else who films knows exactly what this is about. So we're coming up to our last portion. I did a chain of 1, and I'm finding the top of that chain 3 space, pulling through, yarn over, pull through 2, and tie off your end. Please remember to leave a comment how you like this video. Hope you tried this winter fair granny square. Don't do this. I missed a double crochet there. That's a boo-boo. The rest of it's perfectly fine. Like you. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.